Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another discussion topic to share with you guys. The question I want to ask, or essentially what I want to talk about here is, does blade shape matter for general EDC? And here's what I'm talking about, right? I mean, because first, before a whole bunch of people leave a bunch of comments in my comment section, for some people, blade shape definitely matters. If you've never heard me say this before, this is how I view the majority of the knife community, whether you consider yourself a collector, a user, or an enthusiast. I believe that 80% of us, including myself, are in the general use category, and that means we carry a pocket knife, right? We don't have an extreme job. Maybe we're not, using our knives constantly throughout the day. We're essentially carrying a pocket knife so that we can do things, in a simple tasks in a moment of convenience, and this includes general things like basically unpackaging things, right? Cardboard, tape. Sometimes excess adhesive caked on whatever. In some cases, maybe thicker plastic, things like that. Little, simple tasks, right? That's 80% of us, including myself. You might pull your pocket knife out 2 to 3 times a day max, sometimes just 2 to 3 times a week max, right? 20% of us, I think, are actually using our knives all day, every day. The blade shape is very specifically oriented to the tasks that that person finds common in their day-to-day life, right? Maybe they work outside, they work really hard with their tools, and they carry a knife or knives that is perfectly suited for those things. In that case, yes, 100% to you people ready to type me up a big long paragraph that I probably won't read. Yes, it absolutely 100% matters. That's how I view the the knife community, the user community, essentially. Now, you don't have to agree with me. I don't know everything. There's no way for me to have experienced so much that I can definitively say that. That's just how I, view it. So, does your blade shape matter for general EDC? So I've got a bunch of knives. I know you guys, a lot of you are like, I'm going to leave if you don't get those out. Spyderco Bombshell. We've got the Spyderco Swayback. We've got the Gerber Flat Iron. We have the Spyderco Para 3. We have the Wee Production Chamois. You can get that. You guys can follow me if you want to. The Wee Knives Snex. What the heck happened there? Let's do that again. The Wee Knives Snex, which definitely does have a wonderful action that was due to user error. We have the ProTech Malibu. We have the Benchmade Crooked River. We have the Kershaw Blur. We have the Microtech SOCOM Elite, which in this case is in the Tanto version, and we have a Hinderer XM24 in the Spanto variant. Some of you guys might EDC any of these knives for one reason or another, and whether or not the overall size of the knife is good for EDC or bad for EDC based on somebody's opinion is neither here nor there for this video. This is nowhere near the total number of different blade shapes. For any one of these blade shapes, there's about 20 different variants that you could expect to see, and in an infinite number of blade lengths, right? Not the topic of this video. It's, does the blade shape matter? Shape. Does the blade shape matter for general EDC, the vast majority of us who are just using our knives for simple things? Here are 2 things that I think matter substantially more than the shape of your blade, right? Size and weight and all that stuff aside. The geometry of the blade definitely matters, even for simple cutting tasks. The geometry of the blade will, that will greatly increase the, exactly how convenient the task is, or it'll decrease. Essentially, it'll, if the geometry is really thick and chunky, then it might slow certain things down. Right? Another thing to keep in mind is that with all of us, being unique individual people and having unique individual lifestyles, it doesn't matter. We can't necessarily lump simple tasks all into one category, because even considering what most of us consider to be simple tasks, the number of variables in any given circumstances is they're infinite. Nobody can calculate them, so there is nothing necessarily definitive we can say. And that's that's essentially an easy way out of this video coming to any sort of conclusion. But no, we'll talk about it, you know. Number 2, heat treat. It definitely matters. Please don't fill up my comment section trying to tell me that heat treat... I know, heat treat matters, definitely. The steel matters, right? All that stuff, it matters, right? Depending on the steel that you're using. And I understand, you know, does the average person need S90V or S110V, right? Probably not, but that's not really what we're discussing. Again, it's does the blade shape matter? So, you know... So, I don't know what the heck we call this. You guys are free to name the bombshell blade shape whatever the heck you want to call it. I have no idea. We've got variants of Wharncliffe. We've got cleaver-style blades. We've got Spyderco's weird sort of pelican beak-shaped drop point, clip point, whatever the heck you want to call it. Drop point, spear point blades like the Shemwiri here. The Snex has definitely, in my opinion, a Wharncliffe. We've got a reverse Tanto on the Malibu. We've got more of a clip point on the Benchmade. A recurve on the recurve drop point on the Blur. Definitely more of a Japanese style Tanto on the Combat Trudon, and then we have a Spanto, which is a very odd sort of Hinder style combination between spear point and Tanto on the XM24. Now the other elements that I talked about are definitely going to affect your experience, but you know, if you're considering, like, just consider cutting open a package, right? In my opinion, for cutting up on a package, getting into a box, the Wii Snex is ideal. That nose that drops down on this Wharncliffe style blade, some people are going to call that sheep's foot, call it whatever you want. This is convenient, getting into the package and cutting it open, right? Now, how much less convenient is it going to be with a blade shape that curves the opposite way and has belly? Probably not something that you're going to notice or even think about. Something that I constantly remind myself, you know, I love the different blade shapes, the different aesthetics, you know, the different forms that folding knives take because I'm a knife enthusiast. But my definition of a good tool is one that you can simply remove from your pocket, use for a number of different types of tasks. You know, versatility, even in a simple setting, is very important because I like to be able to pull my knife out, conveniently deploy it, right? To give you a visual example, pull it out, deploy it, use it, and then put it back away, right? So both the Snex, which we haven't reviewed yet, and the Crooked River here will do that, and they will open a package, right? They'll open a box. This blade shape might be a little more convenient, but for the, you know, by definition, again, a good tool is one that you don't really have to think about, right? So if I'm having to stop and to think about which of these blades is going to be more or less convenient in that setting, then I'm focusing too much on some trivial aspects of the knife given the circumstance, right? There are definitely other circumstances outside of what I consider to be general EDC tasks, you know, for the 20% community, where that blade shape is going to matter a lot more. But for these simple tasks, no. I honestly don't think so. The truth is that any one of these knives on the table is going to cut through plastic, it's going to cut through cardboard, it's going to cut through tape, just more or less, you know, in a convenient fashion. Now, if I'm breaking down 1 million cardboard boxes, which is kind of right in line with general EDC and more so, you know, like use it all the time, right? If you have a career in breaking down cardboard boxes, then I think your blade geometry will certainly matter a lot more, but the blade shape also matters too. That's why I bring up geometry, even though that's not necessarily the topic of discussion. Truthfully, the reason there's such a major emphasis on knives in this, you know, the enthusiast knife world with thin blade, like the blade stock and final edge geometry, the reason there's such an emphasis on that is because we, as the enthusiast community, whether, you know, you're somebody who's watching my channel and, you know, you just collect knives, or you're somebody who reviews knives, right? The reason that you see such an emphasis on this is because we have picked up on these teeny tiny little details while we comb over in excess the minute, the microscopic little teeny tiny things of our knives, and we found out, being conscious of these little things while we cut, is, oh yeah, that is a teeny tiny little bit better. Does it really matter all that much? I mean, if I went through, like, for the rest of my life, if I was only using this guy right here, this has a bizarre blade shape, and it's a little bit thick, and it's not, I mean, it's decent behind the edge, you know, surprisingly. It's just weird, right? Would I get through the rest of my life, you know, doing what I'm describing vaguely as general EDC tasks with this knife? Yeah. Some things it's probably going to be a little bit better at, some things it's probably going to be a little bit worse at. The thing you guys have to remember is there is no perfect blade shape. It doesn't really matter what the blade shape is, you know, whether it's at a 90-degree angle like the Graham Razzle, or it's a simple drop point blade, which I consider to be, by the way, one of the most versatile blade shapes out there. But it is just my opinion that for these simple tasks, the shape of the blade itself will simply be better or worse at certain things, right? A lot of people are gonna, you know, say, well, considering exactly what you're talking about, you know, let's say hypothetically that is exactly what the majority of people consider to be basic cutting tasks, those exact things that you mentioned. Technically, there is a blade shape that will do better at those things than other blade shapes. Yeah, if, you know, all blade shapes were the exact same geometry and the exact same steel and all that, right? So we can make this as complicated or as simple as we want it to be, but again, I've come to this conclusion over time. I basically carry what I want to carry. I carry it because I enjoy it, because I am an enthusiast, right? I'm somebody who really, really enjoys these little teeny tiny fine deals, whether or not in practice they actually yield a better experience, you know, as a user. A lot of times it's like, I don't know, I just kind of like it because it's shiny and it's the color I like, you know, or it's the material I like, right? I want reaffirmation for the money that I spent on it. But is the blade shape slowing me down? The 2, 3, 4 times that I pull my pocket knife out every day to cut something, is the blade shape making it that much more convenient or slowing me down that much more than another blade shape to the point where I might reconsider the shape, right? Or if I could only pick, you know, if I was stuck with that, just if I had to choose one blade shape for the rest of my life, right, and I was stuck with that, we're like, darn it, you know, this is going to take years off of my life and all the, you know, all the extra drag, you know, created by this blade shape. No, it's not. This wasn't meant to be a super duper long video. I'm going to try and keep it under 15 minutes, but this, if you guys haven't figured it out, you know, I'm in timestamp for people who are going to leave me a big long comment anyway. I like for my channel to cater to new people, right? You know, for the vast majority of us, you know, we're buying and collecting and using our knives, you know, mostly because we just have this general collective enjoyment for them. You know, certain blade shapes are going to speak aesthetically to different people, and if they make you happy, then you should carry that, because as long as they were, you know, made properly and sharpened properly, and again, properly is going to be by definition. Some people think that, you know, a properly sharpened blade will split a hair. In my opinion, a properly sharpened blade will cut, and, you know, in a generic sense, and it won't have any nicks and rolls like right off the out of the factory, or, you know, from the maker's hand, right? It's going to be sharp. Like, I wouldn't want to drag my finger down the blade because it would cut me. I mean, that's what I consider to be sharp in a general sense, right? Now, I can appreciate the extra effort that goes into the crazy fine details of a super sharpened blade, but the reason that, you know, I've come to that conclusion is just, it doesn't really matter what it is that I'm carrying, right? I mean, in a general sense, you know, anything from something ultra, you know, small and compact and lightweight like the Wii Chamois, or the Wii Chamois, the production Chamois, or the XM24. This is definitely more cumbersome, but for general EDC stuff, this is probably in excess, but this in a lot of ways is in excess. Truthfully, for general EDC, the things that I'm talking about, you really don't need much more than the Cadet, right? Why am I blanking on this? The Victorinox Cadet, right? So all, you know, what we carry, you know, in my opinion, outside of the Victorinox Cadet, and yeah, you can make arguments that sometimes you need a little bit longer blade or something that deploys more readily or not with 2 hands, but it's really just because we enjoy it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that the excess money that you put into whatever knife that you really enjoy over whatever the Victorinox Cadet is wasted. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if it brings you happiness, you should carry it, because for the most part, it is going to do those things. These different blade shapes are going to be better or worse at certain things. And I think it's just important that we continue to enjoy a lot of this stuff for, you know, for what it is. It's an object that brings us joy. Personally, I've found that these reverse tantos with belly, like these 2 knives are excellent, you know, and I mean, like they both, this isn't mine, but this is mine, the Malibu. They both bring me joy. They're easy to manipulate, right? There's a lot of other factors here outside of blade shape that I think about. But as far as versatility goes, I do like a little bit of belly. You know, if I'm making a draw cut, or if I'm outside like working, or, you know, cutting against a flat surface like wood, or if I'm trying to make a draw cut through rubber or something like that, then yeah, definitely the Wharncliffe or something with a nose at the end, you know. But as far as versatility goes, I like a little bit of a tip. I like a little bit of some belly, right? And then, of course, you know, considering geometry, I don't want it to be so thin that it feels frail, but I don't want it to be so thick that it's creating excess drag. But if there were more or less of those elements, one way or another, would it really change the amount of time that I'm dedicated to some of these simple tasks throughout the week? No, it wouldn't. I really don't think, for the vast majority of us, that the actual blade shape matters all that much. I'm going to be very definitive here, and I know some people are going to disagree with me. For you 20% people out there who work with your knife every single day and use your knife really, really hard, right? Yeah, blade shape's going to matter. Definitely blade geometry, definitely the steel, and obviously fit and finish. All that stuff, matters. But I think the one thing that really doesn't matter to the vast majority of people is the blade shape. I think you should definitely choose the blade shape that speaks to you aesthetically. If you find it appealing, if it brings you joy to have that knife in your pocket, then yeah, you're good. Elitists will tell you, well, it needs to be perfectly, you have to have exactly this shape, so that you can get that tip hooked in exactly right. If you're cutting, this very specific type of plastic that you've got a 0.07% chance to come across, in your day-to-day life. Everybody's different, so I guess there might be that one guy out there, right? But I would say if it's really that concerning to you, consider what it is that you do every single day, what you are likely to come in contact with. It's likely just going to be those things that I mentioned, right? And then choose a blade that seems appropriate to you based on your experience. And everybody's experience is going to be, more or less, right? But ultimately, yeah, if it makes you happy, then it's probably the right thing for you. I could drag this on for another 20 minutes like I usually do, but I'm going to end up saying the exact same thing over and over and over again, and that's essentially the point that I've arrived to already. I hope that, and again, this was basically catered towards new people or anybody who finds themselves obsessing over these little tiny things before they pick up a new knife. It is certainly something that I think about, even though I know that it doesn't really matter all that much to me. Don't obsess over it. Don't sweat over it. Don't freak out. If you find it to be aesthetically appealing and you can afford it and you feel like you're going to get joy out of it every single day, then go ahead, go for that thing. Because that, in my opinion, is what's really important, unless you are, I guess professionally using a blade every single day in your life. I hope this was at least mildly entertaining to you. I really wanted to talk about this and just have a video on it so people could hear, I guess, my thoughts. But again, you don't have to agree with me. I don't know everything, and I'm definitely not a professional. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.